In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this work session regular meeting of the Franklin Township Council was made as required, indicating that this meeting would take place at the Municipal Building at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, March 24th, 2026.
Please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for the invocation by Councilman Barrison. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us take the next few moments of silence to each seek in our town, in our own way, whatever sources of inspiration will grant us the strength and power in our thoughts and decisions to be for the benefit of all people at all times. Amen.
Amen. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Barrison?
Here.
Councilwoman Francois?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Karazi?
Here.
Mayor Kramer?
Here.
Councilman Onijaka?
Here.
Councilman Singh?
Yes.
Councilwoman Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
So we have a few commendations and proclamations. Item number 5 on the agenda. Anyone wanting a copy of the agenda, you can find it near the clerk. The first by Councilman Vasanella regarding Kevin Apuzio.
Okay, so this is one milestone I wish we never had to celebrate or acknowledge. But I'm just going to start out real quick by saying April 11th, 2006, that was about 2.5 weeks, will be 20 years. I got the worst phone call. I was only on council a few months, the junior council person. I got a phone call, which to this day, unfortunately, is the worst phone call I ever got as a councilman. And that was from our then manager, Ken Daly. Who informed us of the catastrophe. So, anyway, I specifically just pulled a couple paragraphs that were part of the executive summary to give you an idea of what happened that day. On April 11, 2006, the East Franklin and Community Volunteer Fire Departments responded to a possible single-family dwelling fire at Whittier Avenue in Franklin. East Franklin Fire Department Chief Dan Krasinski responded and was notified while still en route that the police department was on the scene reporting a working fire. When Chief Krasinski arrived on the scene, he reported a well-involved fire. He immediately requested a second alarm assignment be dispatched and directly contacted the neighboring New Brunswick Fire Department to request assistance. Chief Krasinski and police officers confirmed that an elderly female resident was still inside the home. Approximately 15 minutes after dispatch, as the members of the interior crew were nearing the front door, the floor suddenly collapsed, causing the rescue personnel and resident victim to fall into the basement. The front of the home immediately erupted into heavy fire conditions from the collapsed floor. A garbled Mayday message and yelling was heard over the fire ground radio. Chief Krasinski radioed that he had firefighters down and immediately requested a 4-alarm fire be dispatched. Doesn't get any better, folks. Firefighter Kevin Apuzio was a 21-year-old member of East Franklin Fire Department with approximately 3 years of certified firefighting experience. Apuzio became trapped in the basement area for a prolonged amount of time following the sudden floor collapse. He was pronounced dead following his removal from the structure. Fortunately, that's the only person we lost that day. There were 3 other firefighters who were hurt and I believe deserve to be recognized. All in their early 20s. Firefighter Ryan Doughton was a 22-year-old member of East Franklin and approximately 4 years of certified firefighting experience. Dalton, sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, received smoke inhalation upon running out of air while still in the basement. He was transferred to the burn center at St. Barnabas Hospital for 2 days for treatment. Firefighter Matt Desmond was a 22-year-old member of the East Franklin Fire Department, approximately 4 years of certified fire training. Firefighter Desmond received second-degree burns. He was treated and released from a local hospital. Firefighter Nick Racine was a 20-year-old member of the East Franklin Fire Department, approximately 2 years of certified firefighting experience. Firefighter Racine received second-degree burns. He was treated and released from a hospital. This is from the state ultimate report. There's probably 25 pages or so. I just felt those 3 paragraphs represent what we're acknowledging tonight. So, without further ado, I'm just going to read the proclamation and ask Chief to come up and receive it on behalf of the family. Okay. Whereas the Township of Franklin mourns with profound sorrow and honors with enduring pride the memory of Foreman Kevin Apuzio, a devoted volunteer firefighter of the East Franklin Volunteer Fire Company, who gave his life in the line of duty on April 11, 2006, while heroically attempting to rescue a trapped resident from a burning home. Whereas Kevin Apuzio exemplified the finest qualities of selfless public service, having begun his emergency services career at the age of 16 with the Union Emergency Medical Unit in Union, New Jersey, and thereafter serving as a per diem EMT technician while pursuing his studies in criminal justice at Rutgers University. Whereas Kevin joined the East Franklin Volunteer Fire Company, earned his firefighting certification, was elevated to the rank of foreman in recognition of his extraordinary dedication, and served as a certified CPR instructor, teaching his neighbors and community members the life-saving skills he himself embodied. And whereas on the very day of his passing, Kevin received the results of his New York City Police Department written examination, upon which he had achieved a near perfect score of 99.6 out of 100, I believe, a testament to the brilliant future of continued public service that was tragically cut short. And whereas the Township of Franklin extends its deepest and most heartfelt gratitude to Kevin's beloved family, who raised a son of extraordinary character, supported his selfless calling to serve others, and for sharing Kevin with this community. The price his family has paid can never be repaid, only honored. And the community is forever in their debt. Whereas the East Franklin Fire Department now gathers to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Kevin's passing with a celebration of life on April 11, 2026, so that his courage, compassion, and character may be honored and his memory kept forever alive in the hearts of his community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by Philip Kramer, Mayor, and James Vassanella, Councilman 5th Ward, on behalf of the entire Township Council of the Township of Franklin, Somerset County, New Jersey, that April 11, 2026 is hereby designated Kevin Apuzio Day in the Township of Franklin, and the Mayor and Council call upon all residents to join in honoring Kevin Apuzio's extraordinary legacy of courage, volunteerism, and community devotion, and to support the East Franklin Fire Department's celebration of life in his memory. We are all blessed to have known him. Chief. Thank you, folks. Appreciate you. Chief Krasinski, who's been there, I think, like quarter-century chief, and did well getting that department through this catastrophe. Please, whatever you'd like to say.
Thank you, Town Council, Mayor, and Mr. Vornlacher, who was Mr. Vornlacher back then and is Mr. Vornlacher today. We appreciate you recognizing Kevin and hope to see you all on April 11th.
Thank you.
Councilman Barrison, you have the next 4 proclamations.
Good evening, everyone. Give me back some love. All right. Okay, so today I have 4 different commendations. This is for our children, the next generation of politicians, doctors, engineers, whatever you may have. In my language, in India, Tamil, we have a saying, if anybody knows Tamil, Mada, Pita, Guru, Devam. That means your mother, your father, and your teacher are the three gods. So you got two gods in your house, and the third god is in the school that you all go to, right? So you respect them in that order, so you'll be good. You'll become a politician like me down the road. All right, anyway, the Cedar Hill Prep is a private school in town, has been recognized as a blue ribbon school in the country. So when I saw some postings about the students' achievements, I reached out to Dr. Nan, who's the Chief Educational Officer, CEO, and I said, I'd like to bring the kids to the council and recognize them, and she obliged, and thank you all for coming. I think as a young person, you may not realize what goes on in towns in terms of administration, what happens with the council and the affairs that matter to the citizens and the residents, right? So I think this is a good opportunity for you. We forced you to come and watch us function, although you are free to go after your accommodation, right? Okay, so so these are very similar verbiage on all the commendations, except the first one, which I'm going to read in full because I think I'm very proud of this young man, Yajur Subramanian, if he's there. Here. So I'm going to read.
Good.
Okay. The mayor and council of the Township of Franklin, Somerset County, New Jersey, are proud to extend this formal commendation to Ajur Subramaniam, a student of Cedar Hill Preparatory School, Somerset, New Jersey, in recognition of his extraordinary academic achievement, intellectual excellence, and outstanding representation of his school, his family, and the Township of Franklin. Whereas Yajur Subramanian, a student of Cedar Hill Preparatory School, has distinguished himself by winning the regional Scripps Spelling Bee, outspelling competitors from Essex, Somerset, and Union counties at the South Orange Performing Arts Center in Orange, New Jersey, an achievement accomplished by only a handful of students across the entire state. And whereas Yajur demonstrated remarkable composure, mastery of the English language, and depth of linguistic knowledge in navigating a challenging field of words, including, I can't even pronounce these words, etc., and ultimately securing his championship by correctly spelling the word meringue. Meringue? Is it a French word, is it? And whereas, by virtue of this regional victory, Yajur Subramanian will represent Cedar Hill Preparatory School and the Township of Franklin at the prestigious Scripps National Spelling Bee in Washington, D.C., folks. I have only seen spelling bee stars on TV, but now we have one here, potentially, national champion. The most celebrated academic competitions in the United States. And whereas Yajur's achievement reflects the dedication, hard work, and scholarly pursuit of excellence that Cedar Hill Preparatory School has fostered since its founding and serves as an inspiration to students throughout our community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and the Council of Township of Franklin do hereby formally commend and congratulate Yajur Subramanian, Regional Scripps Spelling Bee champion, soon to be national champion. Yes, sure.
I would like to thank the Mayor, Honorable Mr. Kramer, the Council of Franklin Township, for this wonderful honor and recognition. I'm also deeply grateful to my school, my founder, Dr. Nan, my principal, Mr. Sealy, and my teachers and my friends and family who have supported me throughout this. They inspire me to work hard every day, and so I can compete with pride at the national level. Thank you.
Nice job.
All right, so I have 3 more, and each student is going to make a speech. There's about 50 of them. You'll be here all night. No, I'm just kidding. So the next 2, the next one is for a team of students that won regional championship for Future City. So pretty cool. So I'm not going to read the whole proclamation. It reads very much similar to yours, but I'm going to read the names of the students. So this is an engineering Future City competition. It is, I guess, it's a zero environmental food waste and design of the city. And I think they picked Phoenix, Arizona, something like that. Okay. Why didn't you pick Franklin?
Because Franklin is very well managed.
Okay. All right, we'll take that, Council. Yes. Okay, yeah, so they designed a future city based on, to be sent to, yes, okay. Did you send it to Phoenix yet? Okay, so I'm going to call the names of the students that were in the team. So you can all come here and receive your certificate. Let's see here. Afzal Mohammed.
God.
Congratulations. Oh, my goodness. Congratulations.
Anandita Gurjar. Shivad Desai. Sahasra Genpur.
Thank you.
Casey Connor. Samira Doshi.
Congratulations.
Avya Kumar. Aryan Shah. Vallabh Vijay-Raj. Dylan Lee. Jonathan Lee. And Indigo James.
Congratulations. Oh, yeah. Congratulations. Congratulations. Huh?
Congratulations.
Congratulations again. 2 more to go. Okay, next one is they looked similar when I read it, but one is a regional and the last one is the national level recognition. And this one is for the NAQT academic quiz team. That is the regional one, right? So congratulations to the team again. I'm going to read all the names. You can do the same routine. Nico Garofalo. Yajur Subramaniam. Shivad Desai. Samarth Dakira. Vallabh Vijay-Raj.
Congratulations.
Armand Cashin.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Aryan Shah. and Viraj Shukla.
Congratulations. Congrats.
So they all earned the qualification to the NAQT Middle School
Congratulations.
National Championship in Chicago, Illinois, placing Cedar Hill Prep among only 160 middle school teams selected nationwide out of thousands of competing programs. Congratulations to you all. Congrats again. All right, the last one is for the national recognition. This is actually the World Challenge competition. It's these kids competed, other students from New Zealand, China, Colombia, Australia, Canada, Singapore, and Turkey. So, and 13 U.S. states. They're all were in the competition, and congrats to our team here. They were placed second in the world, guys. So this is phenomenal achievement, and a big hand to the team. All right. So I'm going to read the names again. Anandita Gurjar, Isra Arif, and Indigo James.
Oh, sorry.
And there's more.
Yeah. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Good work.
Aliyah Patel, Casey Connor, and Tanish Patel. And then you have Agastya Mabu, Shivad Desai, Vedant Pandya, and Ejur Subramanian.
Congratulations.
And the last group is Afsal Mohammed,
Congratulations.
Sahasra Janupur,
Congratulations.
and Samaira Doshi.
Congratulations. Good. Oh,
Congratulations. It's okay.
congratulations.
Congrats again. Please give a big hand to all the competitors and all the winners. And of course, to the school for doing an exemplary job of preparing these young people for the future world. Thank you so much. I have some extra certificates, I think, kids who didn't show today. So.
Next, we have Troop 113 Eagle Scout proclamations by Councilman Onichaka.
It's alumni parent.
Into the mic. Charles, into the mic.
Hello? Hello? Okay. Whereas Carl Gregory, a senior student of Franklin High School, began his scouting journey in September 2014 as a Tiger Scout with Corps Pack 195 at St. Matthias Church, later crossing over to Bay Scout Troop 113 at Somerset Presbyterian Church in March 2019, and whereas Carl demonstrated outstanding leadership through his role as scribe patrol leader and senior patrol leader, managing troop activities and fostering community spirit throughout his distinguished 6-year journey towards Eagle Scout, and in doing so, earned 27 merit badges with focus on citizenship, emergency preparedness, first aid, outstanding manship, and physical fitness. And whereas Carl, for his Eagle Scout service project, organized and led a team of scouts to rectify the parking lot lines, handicap spaces, and directional arrow at Somerset Presbyterian Church, giving back to the troops, chartering organization, and benefiting the congregation, all facility users, and the Central Jersey Enrichment Center, Press School, leaving a lasting and positive contribution as a testament to his vision, initiative, and compassion. And whereas Carl, while executing his Eagle Scout service project, demonstrating exceptional resilience by outgoing challenges in logics and project planning, thereby strengthening his time management and leadership ability, building skills and values that will continue to guide him towards further success and meaningful contribution to the society. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor and the council of the Township of Franklin, Somerset County, New Jersey, do hereby formally commend and congratulate Carl Gregory upon his exemplary achievement of attaining the distinguished rank of Eagle Scout, the highest honor in scouting, and extending their heartfelt congratulations to his remarkable accomplishment, which reflects his dedication, perseverance, and unwavering commitment to the highest deal of the Scout Oath and Law. Be it further proclaimed that the Township of Franklin celebrates Carl's outstanding service to his community and wish him continued success in all future endeavors. Good.
Okay, our next scout. This is, I keep. Okay, you go. Zavotsky. Elijah Zavotsky. And I think that was close enough, right? It's our second scout. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yes, I know we have a lot going on here tonight, and we appreciate everybody here. And I know most of you know what scouting is about or have heard of Eagle Scout, so I'm not going to go into detail, but both of these gentlemen did not come across this rank easily, as it's really the culmination of 7, 8 years. Sometimes you come from Cub Scouting, 10 years. And I got a feeling most of them have been involved since they were allowed to be involved. So thank you. Thank you for your accomplishment and your dedication to scouting. Okay, here you are. Make sure I pronounce it. Zavotsky. Elijah Zavotsky began his scouting journey in 2014 as a Tiger Scout with Pac 113 at Somerset Presbyterian Church, later continuing as a member of Pac 195 at St. Matthias Church from 2015 through 2017, and joining Scouting America Troop 113 at Somerset Presbyterian Church in 2018, where he embraced the values of service, citizenship, and personal responsibility throughout his scouting career. And whereas Eli, as I put it in here, through years of dedication, leadership, and service, successfully completed the demanding requirements necessary to earn the rank of Eagle Scout, the highest honor in Scouting America, achieved by only a small percentage of scouts, which he attained on February 11, 2025, representing years of hard work, perseverance, and unwavering commitment to the principles of the Scout Oath and Scout Law. And whereas Elijah is a senior at Franklin High School, where he's distinguished himself as an honor roll student, a 4-year member of the Franklin High School baseball program, a 4-year varsity swimmer, and a musician performing on the baritone saxophone in the Franklin High School marching band. Busy every season, demonstrating the same discipline, teamwork, and commitment to excellence that have defined his scouting career. And whereas Elijah's remarkable achievements reflect the steadfast support and encouragement of his family, fellow scouts, and scout leaders, all very important to this process, and the faith and community institutions of Franklin Township that have guided and inspired him throughout his scouting journey, building skills and values that will continue to serve him and his community for years to come. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed that the mayor and council of the Township of Franklin, Somerset County, New Jersey, do hereby formally commend and congratulate Elijah Zavotsky upon his outstanding achievement of attaining the distinguished rank of Eagle Scout on February 11, 2025, and commend him for his leadership, dedication, service, and commitment to excellence. Be it further proclaimed that the Township of Franklin extends its sincerest best wishes for continued success in all his future endeavors, and thanks him for serving as an outstanding example of the values of scouting and community leadership. Congratulations. There's some proud parents, if you'd like to come up. And 113 has God been around since I was in scouting, and we're talking over half a century ago. So it's been around a long time. 195's been around a long time. And one way or another, they all seem to continue and keep doing what you see them doing here today. Thank you. Yes, and you know we have a lot going on, but if the scout wanted to say something, I think, hello? It's good? You're good? You sure? You want to thank somebody? Come on, this is it. I know we got a lot going, but take 1 second and thank who you'd like to, or whatever you'd like to say, guys.
I'm very honored to get the rank of Eagle Scout. It's been a hard journey. Took me all the way to senior year to get it. I hope all my other fellow scouts find their way through Boy Scouts and find the same life lessons that I learned, and hopefully Boy Scouts teaches them to live life to the fullest. I want to thank my parents for always being behind my back, my scouts, my friends, and everyone else who supported me on the way, on the journey.
I'd like to thank the Honorable Mayor and Council for this recognition and honor. First and foremost, I'd like to thank God for all of his blessings, giving me an amazing support team with my family, my parents, sister, and my brother. I'd also like to thank the leaders of my troop, Mr. Slag, my dad, Mr. Prasad, Mr. Zavatsky, Mrs. Zavatsky, and everybody else who supported me along the way, my fellow scouts. It's been one heck of a ride. I've made some of my best friends, Eli, Timmy, amazing memories at summer camp, and I'd just like to thank you all for supporting me on my way. Thank you.
So that's it for our proclamations. It will not be considered rude if you came just for the proclamations to leave now. You're kidding. Here we go. I just ask that you close the doors behind you. If someone could close the doors on the, thank you. Folks, you can gather in the lobby, but we have a meeting to continue. Hello?
1, 2, 3.
All right. So it is time for public discussion. I ask for unanimous consent to open to the public. Without objection, we are open to the public. This is the general public session. There's going to be public session later for Catalpa Park and another one for the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG. And it's just a first reading, so there'll be no public session for the ordinance. So you can speak about anything that has to do with government, 5 minutes of time, no yielding of time, may only come up once, and please state your name and address. You can come up.
Good evening, Council.
Got to speak right into the mic.
Test. There we go. Good evening. Adam Moore, East Franklin. I'd like to take a second to personally thank the business administrator, mayor, and the town council for recognizing Kevin and his sacrifices. And that we also like to consider keeping Kevin's legacy alive forever, considering and allowing East Franklin to take over the former First Aid building that's on Girard Avenue and turn it into a training facility under Kevin's name, Kevin's Memorial. And that's it. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Name is Mark Langston. I'm a resident at Franklin Park, New Jersey, and we had a concern in the community.
Your address, please.
What's that? Oh, my address?
Yes.
83 Chelsea Court in Franklin Park.
Thank you.
Dear Mr. Mayor and members of the Township Council, This letter is to formally request immediate attention and decisive action regarding the increasingly dangerous traffic conditions within our neighborhood. What was once a concern has now escalated into a serious and ongoing threat to residents, pedestrians, and especially children who live and play in this community. At the intersection of Beekman Road, Chelsea Court, and Lindsay Court, vehicles routinely travel at speeds far exceeding the posted limit despite the clearly residential nature of the area. Drivers frequently accelerate through this stretch as if it were a throughway rather than a neighborhood where families live, children play, and pedestrians must cross daily. Compounding this concern, statements from local police indicating that traveling up to 5 miles per hour over the posted limit is generally tolerated would effectively permit speeds approaching 40 miles per hour in this area, far exceeding what is appropriate for the residential neighborhood, particularly when some main roads are limited to just 25 miles per hour. Reducing the posted speed limit from 35 to 25 would be an important first step in reinforcing that this is a residential area where caution, not speed, should govern driver behavior. This reckless pattern has already resulted in the fatal injury of pets and is deeply troubling to acknowledge that if meaningful action is not taken soon, it is only a matter of time before a resident is seriously injured or worse. The danger is no longer hypothetical. Recently, a vehicle traveling at excessive speed lost control and left the roadway entirely. The car crashed onto the sidewalk and came to rest between two trees off the road, creating a scene that could easily have resulted in a far greater tragedy. Emergency responders arrived quickly, and an ambulance transported the passengers to the hospital. The fact that this occurred within our neighborhood on streets where residents walk, children play, ride bicycles, and families cross daily should serve as a clear warning that the current situation is unsustainable. Alarmingly, just 2 weeks later, another collision occurred nearby. In that incident, one driver ran through a stop sign while another vehicle was in the process of making a turn, resulting in a crash that again underscored the dangerous driving patterns present in the area. 2 serious incidences occurred within such a short span of time. It's not coincidence. It is evidence of a growing safety problem that demands immediate attention. Given these circumstances, the installation of a blinking pedestrian crosswalk at the intersection of Beekman Road, Chelsea Court, and Lindsay Court is not simply a helpful improvement, it is an essential safety measure. Such a system would significantly increase driver awareness, reduce excessive speeds, and provide a clearly defined and protected crossing point for residents. Compounding these concerns, there has also been a collision involving a street sign and a wiring box near the intersection. The damage to the infrastructure further demonstrates the severity of the driving behavior occurring here. In addition to the danger posted by reckless drivers, the damaged equipment itself now presents another hazard that must be addressed without delay. Equally urgent is the need for safety enhancements at the intersection of Chelsea Court, Stewart Avenue, Beekman Court, and Stewart Avenue, and Beekman Road, and Delaware Park. These areas feature nowadays roadways that curve and bend with limited visibility, providing little warning to pedestrians and approaching vehicles, particularly those traveling at excessive speeds. The current design of these infrastructures creates conditions where a serious accident is not only possible but increasingly likely. Clearly marked crosswalks and pedestrian crossing signals would dramatically improve safety and help prevent a tragic and entirely preventable loss of life. Residents throughout this neighborhood are growing increasingly concerned. The hazards are visible, incidences are increasing, and the risks are no longer theoretical. With prompt and meaningful action, the next accident may not end with damaged vehicles. It may end with the loss of a neighbor, a child, or a loved one. 30 years ago, infrastructure such as crosswalks, curb cuts, and pedestrian crossings with proper lighting were not viewed as pressing concerns in the area. However, today, with thousands of residents calling this neighborhood home, these safety measures are no longer optional. They are essential. The growth of the community demands modern safety solutions to ensure the protection of all who live, walk, and travel there. I'm going to jump to the closing paragraph. There's an old phrase long used in the Navy. We're all in the same boat in a stormy sea, and we owe each other a terrible and tragic loyalty. It spoke to the understanding that a ship only functions when every member of the crew looks out for one another and takes responsibility for the safety of all aboard. The same principle applies here. A neighborhood, like a ship, works only when its people and its leaders recognize that we share responsibilities for one another's safety. By taking this action now, we affirm that commitment, that neighbors look out for neighbors, and that the well-being of this community is something we protect together.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I only skipped 5 lines. I think it was pretty. And I have copies of hundreds of signatures in the area and stuff from the police if you want. I have
You can hand them to the clerk.
Okay. Thank you.
And we respond at the end of public session. Anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing none, I ask for unanimous consent to close the public session. Without objection, public session is closed. Answers
Mr. Mayor,
to the public,
in
yes.
this particular circumstance, this matter has already been investigated both by the police department and our township engineer. Coincidentally, both the public safety director for the police department and our township engineer are in the audience. So while I certainly have the background to answer this one, I think I'm going to defer to first the township engineer to address the study that was completed and the results of that study and the recommendations and the limitations that you as the governing body have in this particular circumstance. Darren, you just grab the microphone and...
Good evening, everyone. My name is Darren Mazzi. I'm the township engineer from Center State Engineering. We did take a look at the speed study here. There are some slightly elevated speeds in the area, which a recommendation the PD was made to enforce the area more often. Now, in terms of the crosswalk that's being requested, Chelsea Court and Lindsay Court are both private roads. So by statute of law, this would actually be a mid-block crosswalk. It does look like an actual intersection, but because there's not 2 right-of-ways intersecting, it's actually set that way. So if any crosswalks were to be installed, it's technically the HOA's responsibility as part of that being a public roadway. And I did take a look at the handicap ramps that are there. They were built at a time before ADA accessibility was as scrutinized as it is today, so they would need to be upgraded and marked, and that would also include any kind of signage for the mid-block, as well as if it went to the council, an ordinance that would put a mid-block crosswalk in place. The study for a flashing beacon, there would have to be a little more work done just in terms of how many people are crossing to see if the volume would warrant it, but on initial review, I didn't see that as being necessary in this area.
Sure, and I'll just, I actually have, so for kind of context as far as what Mr. Mazzi said regarding speed, during the week period that was studied, which was at the earlier this year, 12,233 cars were studied during the course of the week. The average speed was 32 miles per hour. The high speed for the what we'll call the 99th percentile, the highest speed traveled was 46.9 miles per hour. The 85th percentile speed was 39. Some of you who have heard me talk before know the importance of the 85th percentile. The 85th percentile is that speed at which that speed or below is what, and is, I should say, it is the 85th percentile is the speed at which the state statute and the federal manual deem safe and prudent, that which 85 out of 100 vehicles is traveling at or below. While I understand the gentleman's concerns about lowering the speed limit, the recommendation was made from the engineering department to the police department that the appropriate action would be increased enforcement for speed on the street. Director, if you want to come grab the microphone, I know you have statistics on the number of details that have been conducted for traffic law enforcement on that area.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Yes, so my traffic division has been out on Beekman in what we call TLE, traffic law enforcement. For 2026 so far, we've had 43 instances of enforcement. As far as accidents are concerned, our crash stats for the last 5 years, there was one speed-related crash in that area. for a total of about 9 crashes over the last 5 years down in that area. So while we understand the concern, usually crashes are the driver's fault and not the roadway and not the area, but we will continue to enforce traffic down in that area as needed. If anyone has any questions, I can answer, but as the township manager explained, these speed studies we do them during the year, sometimes more than once a year, and they're usually very accurate.
And the only thing I'd add is that oftentimes there's a question about how speed limits are established, and that goes to the reason why you go through this engineering study process as far as speed surveys and accident analysis, is because there are 3 speed limits in the state of New Jersey by statute. There's the 25 mile per hour speed limit, which is the business district and residential speed limit. Then there's a 35 mile per hour speed limit, which is a suburban residential. And both the suburban residential and the residential are specific to the type of building frontage or property frontage on a road. Suburban residential being 50% frontage, property frontage has to be residential in nature for every 1,320 feet. And then for a 25 mile per hour, it has to be 50% of building frontage has to be residential, excuse me, residential in nature for it to qualify for a statutory 25. The third speed limit, 50, is all other roadways other than those posted with some other speed limit. The roads that we're talking about here, Stewart and Beekman, are statutory suburban residential. One of the things that often causes some confusion is there is the word, and it has been interpreted by the court with frontage. Not rearage, but frontage. So Beekman Road in the area of Society Hill has no frontage, so it doesn't qualify, or townhouses, but it doesn't qualify for a statutory 25. It's a statutory 35 because there is no frontage. So 50% of the property is residential, so there's where it qualifies for the suburban residential, but not the statutory 25 that some other streets might qualify for. And as far as the intersecting streets where they're requested flashing beacon and crosswalk, we've dealt with that in a number of neighborhoods where we have HOAs that have streets intersecting public streets. These are private streets. They are not a legal intersection per state law, so therefore a crosswalk would require actually a separate ordinance by the governing body of the municipality and it is only as a result of an engineering study can a mid-block crosswalk be installed. And again, as Darren said, as far as the flashing beacons, that's something that would require an engineering study to determine the pedestrian volume at that crossing. So that's where it's at right now. I think that the recommendation for increased enforcement is being followed through on and needs to continue. And then what generally happens is following enforcement activity, a second study is done, second speed survey is done to see the impact that it's had. But I will tell you that at 5 miles per hour over on the 85th percentile, the 39 in a 35 would generally be accepted as a 35 mile per hour speed limit, and not. And the reality is I've warned this council in various times through my career. Sometimes you need to be careful what you wish for. As those speeds increase, the 85th percentile increases, then the law says that you should adjust the speed limit up, not down. So in this particular case, it is close to the 35 mile per hour speed limit. And we all know, and I've preached like, a minister on the pulpit on a Sunday, the people and the way that people are driving is increasingly more aggressive, and unfortunately, changing a speed limit downward is not going to change that aggressiveness that they exhibit on our public roads every day. And as a person who's spent the better part of their adult life trying to advocate for traffic safety, it's disturbing, but it's a reality that I don't think that the decreasing of speed limit is going to stop people from driving in an aggressive manner. So that's unfortunately where we're at right now. So that is what the police department will continue to do in that neighborhood, and then they'll revisit it in several months to see where we're at.
Just one quick correction. My email wasn't opened up all the way. It's actually
you've got to speak into the mic.
Yeah, got it. Otherwise, the
So
TV can't hear you.
Doesn't hear.
Just a correction on the stat. There was actually, my email didn't open all the way. It was 14 crashes over the last 5 years, and only one of those crashes was attributed to speed.
And generally, the engineering standard for regulatory actions, a traffic signal or a stop sign or a four-way stop, is that the regulation will impact accidents that have occurred in a 1 year period. 5 or more of the type of accident is what is looked for. So if there was one speed-related accident in 5 years, you would look for 5 speed-related accidents in 1 year as one of those engineering standards to look for in changing the regulation.
I'm so glad you cleared that up, because I was going to ask that question.
That's the number.
Mayor?
Yes.
I was just going to quickly respond to the other item that was mentioned. I'm not going to get into the details because we're entertaining a couple of proposals as what to do, including one from East Franklin, as what to do with the old first aid squad. But I will say this, and we don't know, we'll hopefully be figuring that out in the next couple months. I will say this, whatever we do with that building, if it has anything to do with first responders in general, especially volunteers, I would wholeheartedly support anything to honor Kevin. And just for what it's worth, not going to go into a lot. We had the proclamation earlier, but he is, and hopefully will remain forever, the only volunteer firefighter or first responder that I'm aware of in the history, 228 years of Franklin Township, that died in the line of duty. We had a couple of police officers, unfortunately, in the 60s, but I believe this is the only volunteer, the only firefighter that's ever perished in the line of duty. And it wasn't mentioned when we read the proclamation earlier, but Kevin died trying to rescue an old lady, is quite frankly what happened. And a little house fire, a little single-family residence house fire that would probably seem like, a training thing or something simple. Floors collapse and catastrophes happen, but he died literally trying to rescue someone else. And I do want to mention, we do have in the back of the room, the cameras might not see them, but a handful of, I'm going to say, people who were toddlers, maybe a little bit older when this happened, and the idea to see people coming out and volunteering and continue the legacy not only of Kevin but all the Franklin Township firefighting. Most all of our firefighting is done volunteer. We use some in-house resource staff, but we have a big history here, and there's nothing that epitomizes that better than seeing you men and women coming out here tonight, not only pay tribute, but more importantly, you're serving the community, running towards what most people run away from. Thank you.
So the Mayor, I got one more thing on this. So first of all, as a volunteer first responder, my sincerest condolences to Kevin's friends, families, and squad members. My thoughts and prayers are with all of you. I wanted to acknowledge the gentleman from 83 Chelsea. You're from my ward. Understand and acknowledge the concern that you brought to the council. Appreciate that. And I'm really glad that you got a real-time response from the township manager, from the engineer, and our public safety director. So hopefully that helps you get your concern addressed and question answered.
Okay, thank you. And why don't you just continue with your council comments?
Mr. Mayor, if I could just add one more comment there, though.
Yes,
So,
not.
and because I thought it, there is somewhat of a, in a way, a cruel twist to what occurred that day 20 years ago. It was not, and certainly not to take away from anything. The woman who died in that fire, I don't know if many people know this, was the mother of one of our active duty police officers. So it not only impacted the entire emergency services community with the loss of Kevin, it was also the mother of Tom Coolidge, who actually passed away only days after he retired from the police department. From a terminal illness, but we put those two families together in our minds in the police department every time we think of them. So it was a double loss that day, in that Kevin was trying to save Tom's mom. So there is always that connection that the police department will have with the fire department from that day.
Thank you for mentioning that, Bob. I didn't want to get into police business, but that was another piece of the situation. Thank you.
A little bit of Franklin history today. Councilman Singh,
Sure.
council comments.
So a couple of things. A little over a week ago, I was with the Kingston Village Advisory Committee. I actually met them for the first time. And in the near future, I do plan to do a drive around with them to understand their issues, understand their challenges, and if needed, when needed, I'm going to bring back any concerns that this council can help back to the council. The second thing I want to talk about was I'm starting to get a lot of questions on taxes as it relate to our residents after the virtual hearing we did last week. Subsequent to that virtual hearing, there was a press release that was widely circulated discussing a significant increase to our municipal taxes. And I know there are more sessions planned in the coming weeks before we formally adopt the budget. But in addition to that, I would request the mayor and the council to do some town halls, specifically one if needed for the first ward, so we can explain to the people how we're going to be projecting revenues and what are we going to do with the proposed spending. So everyone is aware in the spirit of transparency and visibility, which is something that I'm very conscious about. Thank you, Mayor.
So I'm going to respond to that. We do that every year, practically, but most years we do that. And we can't do it until we've completed the budget, because we don't know where the budget's going exactly.
So I think what has happened, Mayor, and I think I understand what Councilman Singh is saying, is there's been a press article online that's headline is basically that the council proposes major increases in municipal budget that to be introduced. I think that kind of needs to be cleaned up a little bit, and maybe it's a misleading or misunderstood, but the budget hearing process is just simply municipal department heads presenting their budget to the town council. After that presentation, a great deal of work is done on the part of both myself, the finance officer, the financial consultant, the financial oversight committee, and then ultimately a budget is presented and introduced by the town council in probably, I guess, about 3 weeks or so from now. First meeting is maybe of April. Yeah, first meeting at 3 weeks.
For example, the manager and I spent about 2.5 hours today slamming our heads together.
Right.
Trying to
and we spent, I guess, about 2.5 hours last night doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And we'll do that again for several nights this week, and then again several nights next week, and that is go on and on and on until a budget is completed and introduced. So what transpired over those 2 nights of budget hearings is not the budget. It is department budget presentations to council, much different than the actual final product of a budget.
Which does not have to be done in public.
Well, actually, so the way that the law prescribes in a manager-council form of government is that the township manager has a public meeting where the department heads present their budget to the township manager, not at a council meeting, but at a meeting, a public meeting held by the town manager.
Right.
Years ago, the town manager, I believe it was under the time of Ken Daly, made the decision to move that meeting to a meeting with the council present as opposed to a meeting outside of the presence of council, because it's the manager who ultimately prepares the budget that gets handed over to council for introduction. So this process is a little bit and I think it was done in the interest of transparency. Don't get me wrong. It was. There's much more. Many more people have the opportunity to do it, see it in this fashion than they would if I held a meeting at 8:30 in the morning in the town conference room with my department heads, where the public was invited. That's what the statute calls for, though. So.
Thank you.
Nonetheless, there you have it.
Correcting it is held in public, but not the way we do it. We could go above and beyond. Okay. Councilwoman Udine.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. At the last council meeting, I didn't have the numbers in front of me, but I wanted to report, pleased to share that approximately $1 million of the total $3 million in road paving investment has been secured for our ward, second ward. And as the budget hearing concludes, I'm hopeful that we'll start having that list ready and will be refreshed and available online. I was just going through the online and I noticed there was a specific typo, so I'll address that with our township manager and our public works team to get that site updated and refreshed, so that as you go online, you will be able to see the 2026 road paving schedule. And what they do is they start providing status of in progress, completed, and what's next. So you'll kind of get a chance to see where they are with updates as to the roads. We are committed to improving our infrastructure and keeping our residents informed every step of the way. So just more information around the road paving and how much has been secured for the second ward. On a more sober note, I am deeply saddened to share the passing of a resident and a fellow second ward resident, one of my good friends, Suzanne Goldley. She was a very vibrant and dedicated member of our community. She served on the JFK Democratic Club, as well as was a community woman. Matter of fact, I was just on phone call with her last week, and she was always full of warmth and energy, and telling me that she's walking out in the streets and meeting her neighbors and kind of having those discussions. I'm very sad to hear that today. I found this out, and thanks to our Franklin Reporter advocate for making an article on her. Please keep her family and loved ones in your thoughts. Rest in peace, Susan Goldley. I miss you very much in our conversations over the years. The other thing I did want to mention lastly was we're talking about the 2026 budget and the budget hearing that is recorded and made available online, as we have done every year. And so if you missed it in the last two sessions that we had and you want to learn more about the budget, it is all made available online at our YouTube channel. So you can go in your own leisure and be able to hear the readings and see what we're talking about. That's all I had, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Barrison.
Thank you, Mayor. I really have a quick update. Just took a public safety meeting took place today. and fellow Councilman Basnella will give you a detailed update, but I just wanted to cover a couple of things that came to my attention. One was a request for timing adjustment of a traffic light on Route 27 and Cotaloo intersection, and I was told that our traffic department did a quick study, and recommendations have been sent to the state DOT, which is responsible for that light on Route 27. So it's going to take some time, so please be patient with that while that gets processed. And the second update is, we received a request for a new street lamp at the on Western Road in front of Renaissance community where I live also. So I think that is a much needed light for the residents there, because it's kind of dark in the night if you're driving by. So the township manager reported that request has been sent to PSG&G, and he did caution that it could take anywhere between 6 to 14 months. So I wouldn't hold my breath on that until then. So other than that, I think we had a beautiful ceremony on March 16th at Masjid Ali on Cedar Grove. Our Deputy Mayor Karazi organized a meal with the community there as a part of the Ramadan celebration, and happy to report, and he probably will tell you, and they collected more than $13,000 in this period of Ramadan to give it to people, and the Franklin Food Bank, the people are here, I think was a beneficiary of that. Great job, Deputy Mayor. And then last but not least, we had an internal meeting about YMCA on a discussion of some agreements with the attorney, manager, myself, and the mayor, and more to follow later on that. That's all I got, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Francois.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I rarely report out on subcommittees that I participate on, which are very many. But I would like to at least comment on what was said here earlier about the budget. So myself, the mayor, the deputy mayor, and Councilman Singh, we sit on the Financial Oversight Subcommittee. And we meet and we meet and we meet for hours and hours and hours and hours before the budget requirements, the costs, the revenue, all the expenses associated with the budget. We fine comb every detail, every line in the budget before it ever comes to the public, before it's ever presented to full council. And so there's a lot of due diligence that goes into that budget. We don't raise taxes just for the sake of raising taxes. We look at every possible expense, and everybody knows that the cost of living is going up. The cost of living in terms of energy, anything that you can imagine in terms of salaries, in terms of insurance, in terms of health care, everything is going up. And so we look at how we can squeeze blood out of stone based on how big the stone is and how much blood we can squeeze out of that. So I wanted to comment on the fact that there's a lot of work that goes on for months and months before the budget is ever presented to the governing body, the full governing body, and also to the public. The people that are sitting here on this council are very conscientious, are very concerned, are very caring. We live here. We are members of the public. We represent you, and we take our jobs very, very seriously. And the amount of time that we spend, I just wanted to put that out there. And then on top of that, we meet, and then the mayor meets with the township manager. Then the township manager goes back and meets with his staff. There's a lot of work that goes into this. So I needed to say that, Mr. Mayor. And also, I'd like to just say congratulations to the 2 Eagle Scouts and also the Cedar Hill Prep students that were here today. They certainly made us proud. I'm very proud of our young people here in Franklin Township and the future that they bring to us and their bright futures as well for the world, not just for Franklin. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Vasanella.
And Councilwoman Francois, you had me another thought, so I'm going to piggyback on the taxes. I don't know how they did it, but when I first got on council, we used to meet in that conference room over there because no one, even the public, would be interested. There was nobody but the council and the manager and the clerk. And we had a booklet this big, literally this big, because everything was paper back then, and we reviewed it and spent hours and hours, like literally I think after 11 o'clock at night sometimes. But the point is, we didn't go back there to hide. It was no one had any interest. Taxes 05, 06, as much as they weren't real cheap, they were nothing like today. Things have just obviously gotten out of control. But we did that, and then we put them on TV. Then we had more meetings, and it's been a transparent process. Transparency isn't the problem, unfortunately. Money is. But bottom line, we will see sometimes the greatest way a township can grow. I literally believe this is by learning how to sacrifice, and that comes from government and from the public. So hopefully there won't be a real lot of sacrificing, but sometimes that builds character. Not to be silly, but I think we saw that exemplified by what I know were a lot of sacrifices on every side of the room tonight. I know, from the firefighters to the Boy Scouts to these academic achievements that just astonish me every month. Anyway, I don't want to go on and on, but that's our budget. Another person I want to recognize, I don't even know the details because I'm still not completely focused here tonight, to be honest with you, but Ram, who goes far beyond what he does as a councilman, but the public service and philanthropy that he practices has earned him an award. And I'm sorry, I can't remember the exact. Okay, our deputy mayor will mention. So I just wanted to think that is important mentioning. The only thing I have to say otherwise is quickly the public safety meeting that was mentioned earlier. Two good things. Goal 0, which is to have as few or no accidents, injuries, etc., will be April 14th, May 17th, and June 6th. The director, who was here earlier, has 3 specific days there. They're going to be doing extra enforcement. They often can utilize grant money, so it literally is more officers there for enforcement, and whether it's sometimes it's a flexible type enforcement. One of the big focuses is distracted driving, please be careful, and another one is move over, where you're supposed to move out of the lane in certain times for emergency vehicles, etc. But we will be doing that, and the goal isn't to ticket people, but the goal is to get people to stop doing stupid things when they're driving, so that we all can be safer in this town. So thank you, Director, and every month, starting next month, for several months, we'll be doing that. The only other issue I wanted to mention was we have street lights out on Hamilton Street, a whole bunch of them. We didn't realize how many were out. We did a review of it, and we have contacted PSE&G, knows everything that needs to be done, and hopefully it will be done soon. We can't speak for PSE&G, but if you do notice it, you can go on a portal for PSE&G. If you notice a street that has a lot of them, looks like something's wrong, you can bring it to the manager or whatever council person you'd like, and we could do what we can to get the process moving. But Hamilton Street will hopefully be back fully lit very soon. That's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Onajaka.
Yes. Okay, Mayor. Our next HRC meeting will be on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. And there will be a presentation by Kerry Sloghan, the Programming and Outreach Township Librarian, on diverse activities. That is one. 2, I want to use this opportunity to congratulate the 2 young men, the Eagle Scouts. It's not easy to attain to that rank in the Boy Scout leadership. Congratulations. And at the same time, Ram, I use this opportunity to congratulate you too. Okay? Thank you very much. Mayor, that's all I have for the night.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Karazi.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate Councilwoman Francois for eloquent description of what goes around this budget and time and what it takes. I also want to mention that the first time when the cards for the assessment came out, I mentioned to Mayor and Township Manager that might be a good idea to have another town hall meeting after the budget is put together, so we can talk about the assessment, talk about the budget, talk about the tax breaks for the citizens and especially the senior citizens. So hopefully that will be coming sometime in April. So just Councilman Singh, so that is going to be happening. So I have two items that I'd like to mention. One is that I'd like to extend a special congratulations to Councilman Ram Amberson for his election as one of the America's 250 public service champions by Local Gov 250 and the National Academics Public Administration. A big, big accomplishment, and we really are proud of you. You make us to look good, Councilman.
Thank you.
All right. And the second one, as Councilman Ram mentioned, was this special gathering that we had. And I want to recognize the community of the Masjid Ali Mosque for organizing a wonderful interfaith Ramadan dinner, which we had official, not only we had the local community from different faith groups, but we had officials from local, county, state, including Attorney General was there. And it was really a great gathering. And also special thanks to the Muslim community for raising almost like $13,000, over $13,000. And we were happy that we were able to support Food Bank so they can support our neighbors who are facing food insecurity. So again, congratulations to everyone. And I think, Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you very much.
What was the range of the donations?
Oh, yes. The donation varied from 5 cents to $2,000. We included the school children, a Sadiq school, that's a private school, and one student brought 5 cents, 5 pennies. And we were very happy to see that, too. So it was great. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Yes.
So I have a Franklin 250 announcement for this weekend, this Saturday, from 1 to 4. It's Could You Have Done It? It's a celebration of the women and women's contribution to the revolution. Stories of what women did during the revolution, living history demonstrations, colonial traditions, hands-on activities for kids. So part of our Franklin 250 celebration, which the county has recognized as clearly the best in the county, doing more than the county itself, continues this Saturday and will continue thereafter. That's it for my comments, Mr. Manager.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of upcoming events, and I'm going to take it one step further on the Franklin 250, Mayor. There's an event that follows the one this weekend on April 18th. George and Martha, a cocktail affair, an evening with the Washingtons, to be held at the Hageman Farm, which is under the management of the Meadows Foundation, a property owned by the Township on South Middlebush Road. April 18th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., the Meadows Foundation and the Franklin 250 Committee will host George and Martha, a cocktail affair, an evening designed to bring visitors face-to-face with the nation's first couple in a warm, engaging, and historic rich setting. Tickets are limited. It is a $50 ticket that includes the admission to the presentation, like colonial-style fare, and a tasting from the open signature bar featuring historic spirits. All proceeds support the ongoing preservation work of the Meadows Foundation. Attendees must be 21 or older to enjoy the alcoholic beverages. Non-alcoholic colonial refreshments will also be available. Also upcoming on Saturday, March 28th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Franklin Township Community Senior Center here in the Municipal Complex at 505 DeMott Lane is the annual Bunny Bonanza for the little kids. Take your own photos with Mr. and Mrs. Bunny, face painting, balloon artists, music, kids, crafts, and more. So anyone with the little ones wants to come out and meet Mr. and Mrs. Bunny and have your face painted, I think they'll even paint adult faces if you so choose, but I think it's intended for the little kids. Last one is an effort on the part of our Environmental Commission. Saturday, April 11th, from 9:30 to noon is the annual John Clyde Stream Cleanup. This year, Seeley's Run. For you that don't know, Seeley's Run is what crosses Easton Avenue in the area of High Hop and Rutgers Plaza, in between the two. And that cleanup will take place in conjunction with the Lower Raritan Watershed and our Environmental Commission. If you are interested in participating, there is a link on our website. The banner at the top of the homepage will bring you to it, and it is the registration paperwork that needs to be filled out if you wish to volunteer and help our Environmental Commission and the Lower Raritan Watershed Partnership clean up a stream on the morning of Saturday, April 11th. And that's what I have to report tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I'm going to do a little Carl Wright and take a second bite of the apple. Councilman Embarrasson, when I was 3rd Ward representative, I brought that light up, the length of the light at Cordeloo Lane. This sounds sarcastic, but I sincerely wish you well with that endeavor. I was unsuccessful.
Well, so it's funny that you say that, Mayor, though. You complained to me about that light and having been stuck at that light about a month ago, and that is what prompted the police department, upon my urging, to investigate it again. So things go full circle. So while someone may have complained to Councilman Embarrasson, it was your complaint to me that made me go to the police department and ask them to look at it.
All right, we're
so there you go. Take
Mayor,
a little
I have a few
credit.
more blocks I want you to drive on that you can maybe tell Bob how bad they are.
All right. So
Here you get quick action.
Item number 10, there's no council discussion item. However, item number 11 is a council discussion item on development of Catalpa Park. We'll start with a presentation. Catalpa Park, interestingly, speaking of when I was 3rd Ward, when I was running for mayor the first time, Catalpa Park was a contention, and it has been held up mainly by DEP. And now, when we went out to bid, it came back much higher than we were expecting. So we've done a redesign, and it's been to rec, it's been to open space, it's been to the land use committee, and this is what has fallen out of that.
Okay.
Mayor and Council and the public. I'm here to discuss the Catalpa Park project, as Mayor Kramer had mentioned. Just wanted to give a quick overview of the project that went out to bid last July 1st. As part of the project, there is a culvert first in a stream that runs through the center of the project in this location. I'm just showing that to say there's a northern portion of the park and a southern. So I'm going to focus on the northern portion first. There are 2 cricket fields proposed on the east side. One would be 450 feet by 516, and the other would be 400 feet by 459. In this area, there would be a pavilion for the cricket fields with bathrooms as well as picnic tables. Then on the opposite side, there's a 67-car parking lot and community garden with water access. Water is going to be brought onto the site for the bathrooms as well as the community garden. Now, working our way south of the culvert is where most of the site amenities take place. In this area, we have an 86 vehicle parking lot, a playground area that has 3 large playground structures, one that's going to be inclusive. The inclusive playground is actually being funded by the Somerset County Open Space Grant. There was a grant received for $360,000, so everyone's aware. In that area, there will be 2 swing sets as well as various benches and some shading. Along that area, there is also, and I'm going to zoom in a little more, there are going to be 2 basketball courts. To the west is a larger pavilion where there was stamped concrete. There's 12 seating tables, 5 picnic tables, and grills for the residents.
Excuse me, you have the satellite layer on?
Do you want me to shut that off? Is that hard?
I think.
Oh, okay. It's a little easier here. You know what I will do? Just if you want to bear with me for 1 second. Is that easier to see?
It's better.
Oh, sorry.
Zoom out and show the cricket.
Now make it white because it's not at night anymore.
No problem. So again, the northern side, here are 2 cricket fields shown on the east side. There is the pavilion area located here with the 6 picnic tables, the bathroom, parking lot for 67 vehicles on the opposite side of the driveway with a community garden. One item I did leave out is there's a wet pond for stormwater management on this side. Now this is the stream crossing here with the bridge and culvert. Once we come south, this parking lot to the south holds 86 vehicles, and it's going to be servicing all the amenities. The playground area, which I'll zoom in on. So there's 3 larger structures. One of them is going to be all-inclusive for 80, and that means ADA access, to which the grant I mentioned before was received. There'll be 2 swing sets, as well as a shade structure for some benches and benches around for parents to watch their children. This building will be servicing it as a restroom with an overhang as well. Now back to the basketball courts. If we make our way west of those, this is a 44 by 34 pavilion with 12 picnic tables. 12 regular tables. One of them will be ADA accessible, which means there's not going to be a seat there, so somebody in a wheelchair can be at the table with their friends and guests. There is another picnic table area as well as grill. Then moving to the west, we have this is a bocce ball court, 2 bocce ball court areas, cornhole area to the north of that, and then north of that is horseshoes for the family grill picnic area for amenities for people celebrating a birthday or just a day at the park. West then we have both 2 tennis courts as well as 8 pickleball courts. And there's a path that works its way all the way around that I should have mentioned that starts on the north side. It works its way through the south side. There's going to be trail markers, so if anybody's jogging, they can keep track of whether they're at a quarter mile, half mile, so they can do that. Now, one thing that was removed from this plan, well, first, there was 2 other items that were included. One, they were fitness stations, which included bonded rubber surfacing, which is needed so if somebody falls and their head hits, it's called a head impact criteria. So it's a softening blow so they don't hurt themselves if they fall off, as well as the stamped concrete. Now, this project went out to bid last July, and it came in at approximately $9.3 million, at which point the council had rejected it due to cost. It's gone to both open space and land use, as the mayor said, with the directive to see of how we can bring the cost down. So some major ways that this cost was brought down were 2. First would be to the replacement of the stamped concrete with regular concrete. So the areas would still be accessible and ADA accessible. It would just be a finish difference. And that helped bring down the cost, as well as the removal of the fitness stations. There were originally 10 fitness stations around this path that are being removed at this time, which included the bonded rubber as well as the fitness. There actually had to be like small retaining walls to break the grade to keep them level. So by doing that, we also looked at the restroom areas, and we value engineered those with the provider. What we were able to do was the interiors had a fiberglass reinforced plastic finish. They've been replaced with a block and a latex epoxy finish, so they're still easily cleanable for public works. There was a stone veneer finish on the front that's now going to be a fiberglass batten finish. So those 2 help bring down the cost. So with that and tightening up some of the design in terms of area and reducing the soil and seeding areas, we're able to bring the project down to approximately $8.6 million, which is about a reduction of approximately $614,000. And then in the last land use meeting, it was requested that we also include some deletion items just in case anything happens where the price is coming high again. So I did include 3 deletion items. The first would be to remove the bocce ball court, which would reduce the project by about $213,000. The next would be on all of the pavilions and shade structures. There's a decorative 3-foot-high wall that goes up, which would be removed, and they would just be steel posts in the ground. That would save $48,000. Then the last would be the removal of the horseshoe pits and cornhole if needed, and that would reduce the project by about another $53,000. Bring the total hard cost, construction cost, to the $8.35 to $8.45 million range, which is about a $900,000 reduction from the last bid that went out in July. The direction was to try to get that number in between 8.5 and 8.9 million. So we're in there, we're right in the middle if nothing is deleted out, and we have some playroom if we do need to use the deletion items. Now, one item that also is there is there's going to be soft costs for the construction and management of the project. And a project this size is probably going to be in the range of $400,000 to $425,000, just so the council's aware. So those are the major changes to the project from what went out to bid. So I just wanted to go there first and then see if the council has any questions.
So I'm the last one who should be asking a question because I've been in on most of it, but the fitness path surface, what did we wind up with?
With hot mix asphalt.
Hot mix, okay. And what are we doing with the bathrooms in the winter? They're not heated.
They're going to be winterized and shut down.
Okay. And there was a request from one open space member. I realized it would be a redesign, but he did ask about it during an open space meeting. Having the tot lot near the community garden, so people could kind of watch.
Mayor, that was when there was not going to be the other part of the park developed, so that would not go along with what this proposal is.
Okay.
And you'd lose the parking for the cricket fields if you did that.
Right. Okay.
And just so I don't know that you're aware of this, but we have 2 other parks that have permanent restroom facilities. They're winterized every winter as well.
Oh, okay.
None of them have heat.
Okay.
We have to winterize Naaman Williams Park and Inman Park every year.
Anyone else?
I just wanted to make a comment. Well, thank you so much. I'm the council liaison for the Trail Committee, and we've talked about this quite a bit, actually, and we reviewed different options that were out there, and this was the option that we really liked. We think that is important for our community, and if we would have gone with the other options, the low-cost options, and later on add to this, would have been more costly. So this is really, the good thing that you have done to reduce the cost further, and we really appreciate it. And I hope this will be a reality after so many years of talking about it.
I had a question. Yeah, let me just quickly, as a refresher for everyone, how big of a park is this?
It's approximately 29 acres.
29?
Yes.
Would this be one of our largest, if not premium?
Middlebush is our largest. It's approximately 77
Okay,
acres.
so this is
about a little less than half the size of Middlebush.
Okay, so 29 acres to be exact. Okay, that's as a refresher. I want to make sure everyone knows what we're talking about. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to know about the size as well, but as a new council member, I just want to say it's been a long time in the making for a variety of reasons, and I'm super excited that we are moving forward. Ward 1 in general has been underserved when it comes to recreational spaces, and this project brings the much needed amenities. Once we are done, our residents will not have the need to use amenities from neighboring towns. One of the things that are important to me is equitable access to recreation, and I think this park provides that to our residents. I'm also supportive of the tweaks that have been made to match our budget and any affordability concerns without giving up a lot of the amenities that were originally planned. So thank you for all the work.
You're welcome.
you and members of the council, and I look forward to dedicating this park upon completion to our community.
So, thank
just
you.
have one comment, Mayor.
Well, so actually, this is question time. You're going to have public session. You might want to hear that before you come to a final decision.
May I make just one comment?
Absolutely.
So the cricket community in Franklin is huge, and it's there are many teams that play in the already crowded fields. So whenever I go to an event at the cricket matches and programs, they always ask me, when are we getting the next cricket fields? And this is, I've been telling them, yes, soon. To see them now coming into reality, it's a great news. It's a great day for the cricket teams and the players in town. Thank you.
You're
I just had a couple questions. I'm sorry, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Okay. Just a couple things. I was one of the people involved when the original plans were Councilman Ted Chase is in the audience, Dr. Chase, Councilman Prasad, Rajiv Prasad, myself. I can't remember the fourth. I think it was Carl Wright. We actually worked on the initial plan, spread out with the big pages, and some of these were wish lists, some of them weren't even thought of, and some of them we all petitioned for. But the start was the impetus, the cricket, the need for cricket, and obviously expanded. The couple of questions I have, you mentioned $400,000 of soft cost. For full transparency, is that basically meaning engineering costs to the firm that we contract, being the firm you work for, right?
Correct.
Okay. And that should cover it from start to completion?
Correct.
So Councilman, obviously our township engineer works for Center State, who has now taken over the design. And generally speaking, you're asking the question of the person who will be overseeing the inspectors on behalf of the township, who is our township engineer. So yes, the answer. No, I'm just saying. Darren might be a little bit shy about answering that.
Yeah, no,
but that part of this project would not go out to bid. We're utilizing our township
No, that's good,
engineering
and I feel
services.
comfortable
Yeah, I know
with
you
that.
do. I know.
I just want, like I say, this is finally coming to be, and make sure, and no stone unturned. A couple of things. The track, this whole big walking track. Why, if it can be ADA compliant, which is my understanding, I know it worked with you, or it was you or somebody, in our other parks making some crushed stone. Knowing the cost, the environmental impact, the maintenance, the eventual replacement costs, etc., why are we not going with, I don't know the technical term, but that hard packed crushed stone that meets ADA, looks much more organic, looks as much more environmentally friendly, and costs, I'm going to say, dimes on the dollar. So I thought that was up for discussion. Could you give us clarity on that?
That was. So part of the issue is, at least in other parks we've noticed as well, with drainage, those paths are washing away. And it takes a big effort to get DPW back out there to stabilize the parks. So there's a park that was just constructed over on Weston Canal. And as part of that, with the rain and the drainage swales and paths, the paths are washing away. So that's part of the problem.
But if they're put in, and that drainage situation, I know exactly what you're talking about, because there's a little spot on one of them that I worked with to help get done. As long as that's dealt with at the time of construction, that does not remain an ongoing problem. I mean, barring a catastrophic flood.
Actually, it does.
Gravity still exists.
Actually, Councilman, we're experiencing issues in certain parks because of the issues of.
That's what I'm asking.
Well, and that's why. But you're saying it doesn't, but it does.
Well, if you build it with the
no, if you build it in an area like the Catalpa Park, which has significant grade changes, it washes out. These are not flat circular paths.
To that.
No, Mayor, I'm good with the answer. I just thought this is our one shot to bring this up, and I know a few people have talked about that, because those are great when we do put them, and they can work with the gravity.
In certain applications, that's fine, but in that application, this application, it's not.
Moving along, just a couple. So we got the crushed stone, the engineering costs. How far is the bathroom building from the other bathroom building? Approximately.
I'll have to do a quick measurement, approximately.
One's by the cricket and one's by the playground.
It's probably about 900 feet apart from each
900?
with the stream crossing and the bridge crossing in between them.
So sixth of a mile. Okay. Well, look, I love this project. I love everything we're doing down there. It's funny you brought up acres. Obviously the Middle Bush is the biggest. For people who don't know, Inman is probably the second biggest, but a lot of it's undeveloped purposely. Those are our two biggest parks, and then we have others. I don't know of any in our town that has 2 full-blown bathroom build-outs, and I mentioned that. I don't want anybody inconvenienced. I just want to look at this realistically. A lot of our parks have porta potties. I'm not suggesting we don't have a bathroom here, but a lot of them have porta potties for their only usage. Absolutely need a good, well-built bathroom. Is it totally, not even up for discussion that if you had one full-blown bathroom maintained, because they always require maintenance and everything else that comes along with it, and utilities, to have that, and then to have, and I mean the nice, well-maintained porta potties if there's a bigger need in other areas, because you're talking several $100,000 for that bathroom from start to finish. So again, I love everything we're doing, and I want there to be amenities, but is that not a realistic consideration?
So I don't think that he's the appropriate person to answer that question, Councilman, to be honest with
Okay.
you. Appropriateness is your decision as a body. But I will
what do you guys
answer the
think?
question as
I'm
to
just
why
bringing it
there's
up.
2. So there's the reason why there's 2 bathrooms, and there's always been 2 bathrooms in the design of this park, is because of the demand on the bathrooms when both cricket pitches are being utilized, and then the demand for bathrooms for people who are having family reunions, parties with the picnic pavilion in the playground area. So I don't anticipate people who are having a family reunion walking 900 feet to the cricket pitches to use the bathroom. Likewise, and when you have 2 cricket pitches at use at the same time, the request from council during the course of design was for a bathroom facility in proximity to the cricket pitches. So it's almost as if this is 2 separate parks. It's there, one portion of the park, to the north for cricket is separated completely by natural, the stream and the bridge, to a second park to the south, which is basketball, basketball, pickleball, a playground, an inclusive playground intended for accessibility challenged children. So we put a bathroom there. If you want one, then I would say that you would need to tell us which one is more important.
Well, I don't want to get too deep into it, but I guess...
Excuse me. I'm going to take control back of the meeting. Otherwise, he gets on my case later. We're at item A. Item C, there'll be a motion and a second, and then we can have discussion. This is question time.
Well, just an
that's
engineering...
the answer to the
Gotcha.
question, Mayor.
No, and thank you, Mr. Warlocker. So from an engineering perspective, and I'm just asking, I don't know, is there any way to strategically locate it so that it can, kind of in the middle, that it could serve both ends of the park, and then as needed, supplement it with what we do in the other parks with if needed? If there's, the engineering, is there any way to do
The
that?
stream in the middle of both.
Well, I don't mean put it in the stream, but is there any feasible way that it could be utilized by both ends? Because it is kind of like 2 parks. You're right. And I'm glad we have it.
The stream's what kind of dictates that portion of it, because we'd have to get out of the environmentally sensitive areas too, not just the stream, but the buffers as well. So you'd be within the parking lot, which you'd only be 100 feet away from where it is now if it were moved.
Okay. The last thing I'll say is I just hope we can do it in a way that cuts down as few trees as possible. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Anyone else? Mr. Vornlocker, how will we pay for it?
So there has been to date a number of capital ordinances that were adopted by this council. Put my glasses on so I can read my notes here. The first capital ordinance was adopted in 2016. That was a capital bond ordinance. A portion of that bond ordinance was funded initially in what was used to pay for the initial work by the engineering firm that was designing the park, as well as the the permitting that began, and that funded most of it. There's been two other capital ordinances since then. Right now, available out of the Open Space Trust Fund in the way of cash capital that has been appropriated by council through ordinance is just under $5.4 million. In addition to that, from that original bond ordinance is just over $2.4 million of unfunded bond capital that would be now funded in furtherance of the park development. So that total is $7.84 million. If the numbers are in the neighborhood of what Mr. Mazzi has estimated here, that brings us to about $1.2 million shy of the $9 million mark, maybe 9.1 for in total with construction management on the high side. So in conversation with our financial consultant, in fact, a discussion that was had with the Financial Oversight Committee and Mr. Hodgelick last night, and based on the current debt service that the Open Space Trust pays and the decreasing debt service that the Open Space Trust Fund pays annually on its current bonds, the recommendation would be to bond for the balance of the proposed cost here, which again, the 5.4 million is available in cash, right. About 2.4 million, little more, available via the original bond ordinance that was passed in 2016 that would then now get funded. So the balance, that brings you to 7.84 million, and the anticipated cost is about 9. That means that you need another 1.2 million, which means that would be an additional bond. So the bond sale that would take place would be about $3.6 million in total. So the former capital bond plus the future.
Am I correct in saying this is all out of open space money?
All out of open space money,
so
correct.
It doesn't increase taxes. It gives us less money to do other things, but it doesn't increase taxes.
So right now, the current state of the Open Space Trust Fund is a little over $14 million. That's including $3 million that has already been appropriated in cash out of the Open Space Trust Fund for the acquisition of the Brenner property on Route 27 that was the subject of a capital ordinance at the end of 2025. That property hasn't closed yet, but the money's been appropriated. So like I said, a little over $14 million. It's anticipated that when, with the currently proposed budget for open space for 26, there will be about a net increase in the trust fund in 2026 of about $6 million. So, and obviously that would be available for any other acquisitions that might take place during the course of this calendar year or any into the future. But the health of the Open Space Trust Fund is good. The financial health of it is good. However, in not looking to deplete the trust fund unnecessarily further, the recommendation from the financial consultant, Mr. Hodgelick, is that we bond for the balance of this particular project.
Any other questions for Mr. Vornlacher on the money?
The $300,000 that the county is contributing, is it net of the $9 million?
So actually, that would come off of this particular. The estimate is including the development of the park. So the overall cost would be reduced by that $300,000 grant.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
Okay, then I ask for unanimous consent to open to the public. Hearing no objection, we are open to the public, same rules as before, but we are limited to discussing the park.
Good morning, good evening. Bill Connell, 25 Spring Street. I'm also a member of the Open Space. I guess question for the manager talking about the bonding. In the end, that bonding, how much additional cost over the life of that bond will it add to the overall cost of the?
I guess that'll depend on the bond rate that we get when we sell the bonds.
Okay. Councilman Vasanella, I've ridden a lot of gravel. He is 100% correct. There are all sorts. It's fantastic. Like the Canal in particular was fantastic. Got washed out. I spend a lot of time in Middlebush Park. It's fantastic. Over time, you can watch it become more and more of a problem. It is definitely great. It just doesn't have a long lifespan.
I hear you, Mr. Connell. Get a mountain bike. I'm kidding. Thank you.
Actually, I kind of did. Anyway, and then the real question is we have discussed in the open space about the parking lots and whether they should be paved as a way to save money. That was not brought up at all. And the argument is that the cricket fields in particular, if you're looking to save money, it's only used part of the year and not during the winter months. So it doesn't have to be paved if the argument is it's easier to maintain. Okay, it's just, I grew up on Franklin Township Little League. It was gravel end to end, and I grew up just fine.
To be debated.
What?
Nothing.
I think that's it. Anyway, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Evelyn Pachalik. I live at 15 Old Valete Road in the midst of Catalpa Park. I am the owner of Catalpa Farm. I've lived there my entire life. Times change. The vicinity's changed immensely. I will say, in the 10 years since you did the study about where parks should be in Franklin, I sat in on one committee meeting where there was a recent study that said they wanted more amenities at the northern end of the township, and maybe we'd have to bus them to the south. So please keep that in mind. However, my main concern tonight is I printed off maps from email and Adobe Acrobat. My house is in the middle of this, and I, for the life of me, can't figure out buffer zones. I would like fences around my property so that I don't have errant cricket players or tots or whomever. People are supposed to be on the trail with their dogs on the leash, and that already does not happen all the time. So I fence my dogs in to be on the safe side. So I don't know where that fits into your plan. I am not an engineer. I can't understand it, but please, I'm asking the council to make sure that there are fences around my property to keep the visitors from the park in the park.
There are fences around your property from the original open space meetings.
And what kind of fences are they?
It's a post and rail fence, if you want to just bear with me for 1 second, because I know it was let me just grab the one note. It's a decorative 4-foot-high fence, and then there's also a gate in front of your driveway where you're going to have driveway access where the gate will open and close so that nobody drives down your driveway as well.
And my other question, I know that at one point there was a discussion, there were issues about getting over the stream and the brook with the DEP, and I'm not sure what the ultimate resolution to that discussion was, if there's going to be 2 bridges over the stream with one for, which it currently is and it's falling apart, a dilapidated 1-lane bridge, because due to health and medical issues, my husband and I need 24 access with emergency vehicles in and out. So even during the construction of this, we cannot have it so that we can't get vehicles in there at any time.
So that is a requirement for the bidder as well to keep access to your site. So you're going to have access the whole way through, and that's going to be coordinated during the pre-construction meeting as well with the contractor, because we made everybody aware as part of the bid that you are located within this park. So they're not aware that everybody can't just be shut down from Ovalete. They have to leave access to you the whole remainder of the project.
Yeah, because fire trucks, ambulances, which have been there unfortunately many times. So is it 1 bridge or 2 bridges?
It's going to be 1 bridge.
1 bridge. And that means cutting down the large trees that are next to the bridge?
So there's going to be a portion of trees. If you look at the screen, this is the bridge area. That the line going where my cursor is the stream. This is going to be the bridge. So we're going to remove the trees in that area to a limited extent per our DEP permit in order to get the bridge and the footings in so that we can cross it. It's going to span the stream though, so the footings will be outside of the stream bed area.
And the only other thought I had was, you know, we've had, just all of us can attest to it, horrific flooding and rain, and I don't know if the DEP has been back out to change their minds. I've read that there's updated flood maps throughout the state based upon the weather that we've had, if that's been taken into consideration with buffers.
So in terms of the permitting, we were permitted over the older regulations that were there, but in this area, well, there's a good amount of clearance underneath the bridge because that was part of what they reviewed for if that stream fills up, so that we're not going to have any blockage to it.
Okay, and would my husband and I have input into the type or mechanism of any gates that are put up? I'm not thrilled by post and rail fence, to tell you the truth, but
I believe that the manager, we could adjust as we need to on the.
Yeah, I mean, you understand, Ms. Pichalik, I mean, when you sold the property, this is what the town bought it for. And I understand we'll certainly work with you, but the goal here is to move forward with the project as we were proposed. No, we'll as far as fencing, I believe there's been a number of conversations between the design engineers, which at the time were CME, now is Center State, same engineers, and you as far as...
No, we've never had a meeting with anyone.
It was a white, I believe it was a white post and rail fence, PVC fence, what you're looking for. You know, where there'd be the 3 bars is what was that with the land use meeting.
Kind of like a horse fence, a horse farm fence. That was what was requested, as we were told. If you want something different, then you would certainly be able to tell us that, but we'll include that in the new bid specs. I can't imagine that one fence will be significantly more in cost than another.
Moving forward, because I get a little nervous, you know, in the last 10 years, we've spoken to no one.
Well, there has been no change in the design in the last 10 years.
I understand that. I know that you were at a standstill for quite a while. But I would like to know that communication going forward, and I feel like the township has to reach out to us. I can't harass you when I know that things are at a standstill. That just doesn't make any sense. But I'd like to know that someone would contact us and
you'll be
keep us in the
notified
loop.
before construction even begins. That's going to be part of what I do as the construction manager of the project. So there's going to be a pre-construction meeting where there's going to be dates that are decided for construction, and I would be in touch with you at that point, since you're centrally affected with the construction of the project. And I'll also, after the meeting, I can give you my contact information. You always can feel free to email me or call me if you have any questions, too.
And I appreciate it. I think it'll be a lovely park when it's done. It's been a long time in the making. I understand that. So I'm not against the park. I understand it's been a long haul, and I hope that the people who use it appreciate nature and not just the sports aspect of it. I know the people who go on the trail love it. Thank you.
Ted Chase, 159 Old Georgetown Road. I came tonight to hear this presentation. I'm very happy to see how much of the original plan has survived and that we're going to be able to do almost everything that was originally planned for. One point I just really in response to Councilman Vasanella about the bathrooms. Remember, the bathroom up by the cricket pitches will also serve the community garden there. A further point is, it's very important to find a citizen who will to work out the management of the community garden. I've been somewhat involved with the community gardens that were established in part under Environmental Commission impetus. And it's really crucial to have somebody who will, for instance, assign plots and keep track of and keep the township informed of the condition of the garden and generally supervise it. But from all of the aspects of Society Hill around there, all of the residences, it should be possible to find somebody who will take to that. So, again, thank you for being able to do nearly everything that some 10 years ago we drew up.
So, is there anyone else wishing to speak? So I ask unanimous consent to close to the public. Without objection, we are closed. Mr. Vornlocker, did you want to answer about the surface of the parking lot?
So I certainly will address it, yes. So as far as the surface of the parking lot, I honestly think that some among us don't recognize the level to which our parks are used 12 months a year. This particular park and both parking lots fall on what we refer to as the Brown Trail, is utilized year-round, and there will be, as Mrs. Pachalik mentioned, there are houses and buildings and people within this area that will need to maintain the driveways. They'll need to be plowed when it snows, to include the parking lots for those people who will utilize certain aspects of the park, even in the winter when it's snow-covered. Plowing, even if it's just after the fact and not necessarily for people to utilize the park, is nowhere near as efficient, and also then requires a significant amount of maintenance after the fact when it's a gravel parking lot as opposed to an asphalt parking lot as is proposed. While I appreciate Mr. Connell's comments about the Little League fields, I think that if he's been there recently, he'll note that we built an asphalt parking lot now. And this is one of those times where I think it's from a financial standpoint and an economy of scale here, and it is far less expensive to pave it now as part of the overall construction of the park, as opposed to coming back later and fixing what we didn't do right the first time. That's what we've done elsewhere, and it is more costly. The preparation of base course for a parking lot is much easier to do when you have the excavation machinery there and you're installing a parking lot to be constructed as asphalt to begin with, as opposed to just covering something over with gravel and then now having to remove all of that to now build the base course for an asphalt parking lot later. That's what we did in Middlebush Park, and we're paying the price for it to some extent, because certain parts of that the parking area and driveway were not built well, and now will have to be completely reconstructed when they're repaved, as opposed to just having a park driveway and parking lot last, for the 20-year useful life of a parking lot. So that's my comments on the paved parking lot.
All right, so item number C, Resolution 26-124, authorize advertisement of bids for the development of Catalpa Park is presented / modified, is presented to the Township Council for adoption. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, now we can discuss. Discuss away.
Mayor, my only question here, and by the way, Councilman Singh, what you mentioned was absolutely true. This brings a real balance, long overdue. So I hope nobody in the audience takes any of our questions, including Mr. Connell's, as not supporting this. But we with the price tag. We're just trying to cover all the basics. But that was the vision 10 years ago, and I'm thrilled that it's seemed to happen this year. That being said, was the $400,000 mentioned by for the engineering part of the bonding? Part of that, the numbers you described then?
So generally, you would anticipate anywhere between 5 and 10% of the cost of the project for the construction management. I think that in his generous way, Mr. Mazzi has said that it's going to be about $450,000, which is closer to the 5% as opposed to the 10% of the construction costs of this project. So that is all of the work that an engineer would do to oversee and inspect all of the work on a daily basis.
So voting yes on this, which I'm likely to do here, is there a top amount, like God forbid things come back and it's 11.3? I want to see this built as presented.
So you need to tell us that.
We're going out to bid.
We're going out to bid.
Okay.
I don't have a crystal ball.
So
he just gave you what his cost estimate for that bid is.
If we go out to bid, the items you mentioned were possible to be deleted. Are they being in the bid, and then depending how much we'll be able to line item them out? Correct. I want to just move this forward, and I just want to understand. So we go for the bid. If it comes in higher than what we want, we can legally line item out those items specifically and come to a point if it comes back too much.
Now, the items are going to be deleted. They actually do have to be deleted in a specific order. So the reason why I picked out the bocce ball first was it was the highest item. Then the other two items are relatively similar because the bocce ball area is around 200,000 with walls.
You don't need to review all that again. Just because I know we want to move along.
I'll give you the other part. So the way that the bid specs would be structured is that there's ways that they will bid the project. They will bid the project as a whole, and then they will bid the project without A and B, or without A, B, and C.
Gotcha.
All right, so that's why he's saying it the way he's saying it.
Thank you. It's just this is a little different than some of them.
You can't pick and choose. That's you.
I'm fine, Mayor. That's all the questions I have, and we'll go forward and see what happens, perhaps.
Any other discussion?
Are you expecting one construction company to do the whole project, or are there going to be several of them that they're going to be bidding at different parts of it, and then you're going to be working with all of them?
So it's going to be bid under one general contractor. They may have subcontractors under them, but the general contractor is responsible by law to be doing 51% of the contract.
Okay.
Thank you. No problem.
Darren,
Go ahead.
I want to emphasize on some things. So I know you mentioned, and thank you for giving us a detailed view. This park seems really nice. We're talking about amenities that we don't have in other parks. We're talking about cricket fields. We're talking about pickleball fields. I know Middlebush has a skateboard, and Neiman has the pool. So it seems like we're adding a lot more amenities to this park, as well as maintaining the other parks. And you mentioned also the ADA proofing, so it's creating inclusiveness. So I just want to make sure folks understand that this park is going to have a lot of nice amenities included. And if this goes the way it goes without it being another 10 years, let's not do that, right? I want to make sure we don't have nothing that stops us, because we do get a lot of cricket players. I think we have a lot of folks that come outside to come in here as tourists and play cricket with our teams in Somerset. So I know Councilman Barrison mentioned about them, and I know they're using a lot of fields that we have today. But with our growth in Franklin Township, with the demographics also slightly changing, I think a lot of the amenities are making them feel very inclusive, and they're going to be extremely happy to hear that this park is going to have what they are looking for that we don't have. So thank you.
So for my quick comments, Mr. Vornlocker, name the number. Ms. Kuchalik very politely said something about northern parks and southern parks. Can you name the parks south of Amwell Road?
Sure. Delar Park, Kingston Green.
and East Millstone, which is...
Well, I guess that's all right. It's on Amwell Road, but yes, East Millstone Park, which, by the way, we don't own. We have a long-term 50-year lease with the state for that.
That's true. So we do not have many parks in the southern part of town.
We have those two.
And I
Plus-
originally came into this, there were mainly two options. This option and then a smaller park with the idea of, that would only be on the north side, with the idea of that maybe later on we'll build more in the southern part. And I came to realize if we're going to build it, if we're going to get it, we need to do it all, or we'll never build the rest. So that's why I evolved to this basic design. So unless there's someone...
So I would just add one last thing, so that oftentimes I think things are lost to history. The original park that was proposed at this location was a park designed by an engineering firm called Shore de Palma. That park design utilized all of the property that is that the township owns here, which is far larger than what is being developed as this is proposed. That park development also included several baseball fields, and it developed the entire parcel in the area that is adjacent to Bunker Hill Golf Course.
Yep.
And it went all the way out to the back side of the Magellan properties in Beacon Hill.
It was
so. It was you can see on that aerial. It was some described it as 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag, which is probably not a bad description. It was overdeveloped, but a significant amount of work was done in the initial design phases of this park by Mr. Russo and Mr. Mazzi long ago in 2014 and 2015, as it led up to the public hearings about it in 2016. It takes into account all aspects of impact into the surrounding area. It does, and to Mrs. Pachalik's concerns, we will certainly work as hard as we can with her and her husband to ensure that their property is secured in a way that's not only to their benefit from a security point of view, but also aesthetically pleasing to them as well. So what you want is what we believe we're going to give you.
Bob, one question. The 29 acres that is going to be used for this park, how much is left for the rest of the... Any idea?
You're asking me to remember something from long ago in life. Maybe you have that there. Maybe Mrs. Pachalik knows the answer. How much did you sell to us? What was the total acreage? Do you remember? Around 102. So therefore,
there you
so
go.
I trust her number better than anyone in the room right now.
Fantastic.
So it was her family's farm, so she would know.
Wonderful. So we have a lot of...
There's a lot of undeveloped open space that will remain undeveloped, and I would not see any way after this park is developed that you could utilize that property and develop it further. So it just won't work anymore once we do this.
Thank you, Bob.
So moving the meeting along, I think, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Barrison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Onijaka?
Yes.
Councilman Singh?
Yes.
Councilwoman Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes. And now for the item the audience has been waiting for all this time.
What's that?
Community Development Block Grant for fiscal year 2026. Public I never know how these run, but I think we're just supposed to have a public hearing?
Yes. We have.
So, okay, we will open.
We have a couple of guests who are here to make presentations for their particular project is included in the plan.
Okay, then I ask unanimous consent to open to the public. We'll be a little more flexible with the rules. Without objection, we're open to the public if you are presenting an application for Community Development Block Grant, CDBG.
Good evening, can you hear me there? Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members and members of the public who still are here. I am Amber Silverman. I am an independently licensed social worker and trauma therapist, and I'm here tonight as the COO of the Center for Great Expectations. We're located at 19 Delwood Lane here in Somerset. We have applied for 2 separate grants of $20,000 each. I also want to say that we've received grant funding from you in the past that we are very grateful and appreciative for. The Center for Great Expectations, or CGE, is an organization that provides a continuum of care with several different, in some different locations, but our primary services are for pregnant and parenting women and pregnant and parenting adolescents. Just to give you a brief history, in 2008, we built 2 residential facilities in Franklin Township, and today we serve over 500 women, men, children annually in our programs. Those programs include an adult women's Mommy and Me program. We provide substance use treatment for women at our facility, and their children up to age 5 are able to stay with them. That's very unusual for residential treatment. There are not that many around. It's a small percentage of substance use treatment facilities. We also have a residential facility for adolescent girls aged 13 through 20 who are pregnant or parenting, and their children also up to age 5, newborn to age 5, can stay with them while they receive treatment. Treatment in both these facilities can range from 9 months to a couple of years. We also have a child development center where these children can stay while their mothers are getting treatment or going to school in the case of adolescents. We have permanent supportive housing. We have an outpatient treatment facility that serves women and men, and we also have an in-community case management program with doulas and therapists and peer recovery support peers. So the 2 grants are one $20,000 grant to go towards the staffing costs of teachers and our manager of our Katie's Place Child Developmental Center. The other $20,000 is to replace 2 20-year-old furnaces at our residential facilities. Our mission is to provide a safe environment and provide trauma-informed care, and these 2 grant applications are for just that. It's very meaningful because we have lost about $4 million in state and federal funding. We've had to lay off people. It's been very challenging, and whatever you can do to help us, we would be very grateful for. Thank you. I don't know if anyone has any questions, but just wanted to let you know about us.
Thank you. I've had the tour, very impressive.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Kramer and members of the council. My name is Allie O'Brien, and I'm the development director at the Franklin Food Bank. Franklin Food Bank has been serving this township for 50 years. For half a century, we've operated as a private nonprofit, unaffiliated with the township government in name, but deeply bonded to it in mission. We are here tonight not just as a service provider, but as a dedicated partner in the well-being of every resident in Franklin. I want to start by saying thank you to each and every one of you, and to Dr. Chase as well, and to Deborah. The CDBG funding and the support from this council have been transformative. You haven't just given us funding, you've given our neighbors dignity through improving our infrastructure and making our atmosphere welcoming and warm. And if you have not been to the Franklin Food Bank in the past 12 months, I do urge you to come for a visit. Because of your investment, we've been able to expand into our warehouse, install a drop ceiling, double our market square footage. We moved away from the pantry model of the past. If you walk into our market today, you'll see high-quality professional shelving and real shopping carts, the kind you'd see in any modern grocery store. You'll also see beautiful, efficient, and brightly lit display refrigerators and freezers, allowing our neighbors to peruse the variety of brands and foods we have and keeping our fresh produce nice and cool from the time we open till the time we close. These simple changes help to create that atmosphere of dignity and respect and abundance, fundamentally reducing the stigma associated with food access. Through our partnership, we've optimized every inch of the inside and outside of our building. We've created a welcome center adjacent to the shopping area, which freed up our lobby to become a much-needed volunteer space. And most recently, we've expanded that welcome center with our own mobile reception office and filled and smoothed the parking lot to ensure that office was accessible by wheelchair. Now neighbors no longer need to wait outside. We welcome them in from the heat and the cold, the rain, and the snow. That mobile office isn't just a waiting room either. It's a hub for stability. It allows our partners to provide health screenings, including blood pressure, A1C, cholesterol, flu vaccines, and more. Our partners are in our space weekly, providing SNAP enrollment assistance, housing support, substance abuse prevention programming, and job placement. Inside this mobile office is a private space for our resource navigator, who holds a master's in social work and who has met with hundreds of families we serve, helping them navigate complex systems and create a plan for their future beyond the food bank. However, I am here to tell you that while we are experts at MacGyvering our building to fit our needs, we are reaching a breaking point. We have pushed our current building and our capacity as far as they could possibly go. This year, through CDBG funding, we plan to rehabilitate the receiving area of our warehouse, ensuring that every pound of food we provide to the community is safely handled and that our equipment is protected from wear and tear. The need in Franklin Township is disproportionate and growing. There are just over 11,000 SNAP recipients in all of Somerset County. 4,000 of them live right here in Franklin Township. That is 1/3 of the entire county's SNAP population that we are caring for every day. Beyond this, 2 of every 5 food insecure individuals don't qualify for SNAP. They just are not able to make ends meet, and we care for them too. No one here is a stranger to the rising costs. In the past few years, we've seen housing prices increase by 50%, transportation increase by 40%, utilities and groceries both up by 25%. Child care costs have increased by 60% since 2019. The Department of Labor identifies child care as unaffordable in 99% of U.S. counties. And when a family cannot meet a tuition hike or a car repair or a really cold month, that money almost always comes out of the grocery budget, and that's where we come in. Last year, we provided 3.1 million meals. Because of the Franklin Food Bank, our neighbors don't have to choose between heat or groceries. They can use that money to pay their rent, keep their lights on, afford transportation to work, pay for daycare so they can go to work, and afford their life-saving medication. There is no end in sight to the cost disparity. That is something bigger than Franklin Food Bank can solve. What we can do is continue to increase the capacity of our programming and our building, but we can only go as far as our concrete seams, and they are officially bursting. We will continue to beat this drum because our residents need us to. We ask for your continued partnership through CDBG funding and any other opportunities the council can identify to lift up the food bank. We have served Franklin for 50 years on our own. With your help, we can ensure that no resident of this township has to wonder where their next meal is coming from. They can get it right here at home. Thank you. Are there any questions from council? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening. I have a couple of presentations from applicants who were unable to attend. The YMCA serves
into the mic.
Franklin. I'm sorry. The YMCA has been serving Franklin Township with a swim program, which they offer through the Title I schools here in the township, and they have also provided additional other services within the Franklin Township area. I got to put my glasses on. I can't really see this tiny stuff. I was trying. In 2025, the Greater Somerset County YMCA continued to provide vital services to the Franklin Township community. The WISE programs help to ensure the neighbors have resources, relationships, and support needed to thrive. It includes financial assistance, reliable child care, academic support, water safety, swim lessons, food security, summer camp, counselor in training, teen fitness, adult and senior wellness, workforce development, youth and government programs. In 2025, $126,436 in financial assistance and community support served 1 in 3 children with assistance for child care and summer camp, 550 children in before and after school care, 89 children in vacation care during school breaks, 133 children in safety around water program, 82 children in summer camp, 8 teens in engaged civic responsibility and youth in government, 4,300 meals and stacks distributed through school and camp programs, and 500 plus adult participants in weekly fitness classes. We also have a letter submitted on behalf of YCS Youth Consultation Services, submitted a grant this year for their group home, which is called Caven House, located at 1205 Amwell Road. For over 100 years, Youth Council Service has been a trusted leader in providing behavioral health, special education, and social services across New Jersey. We empower and give dignity to children, adolescents, youth adults, young adults, adults with development disabilities, and their families who are facing complex challenges. Through our Sawtell Adult Residential Services Program, we operate a network of warm, home-like residents that are often referred to by our residents as their forever home, that offer 24/7 support tailored to each individual's unique needs. The YCS home in Franklin Township is called Caven House. Caven House provides emergency short-term residential care for up to 4 adults ages 21 and over with intellectual and development disabilities who are experiencing a crisis in their current living situation. The home offers a safe and supportive environment where individuals can stabilize while staff conduct assessments and work with the Division of Development Disabilities to determine appropriate future placement in our programming. Our request for use of CDBG funds is to replace the deck and modify the ramp and create ADA accessibility. This will remove barriers to access, ensure that the home meets current safety and accessibility standards. The existing structure has aged and no longer adequately supports safe and accessible entry for residents who may have mobility limitations. Their submitted application was for $70,000. We had in total 12 applications for the program this year. 6 of them were for the social services category. The total amount was $89,565. We had 2 applications in public facilities, total amount $250,000. And we had 4 applications for housing assistance, total amount $145,009. Last year, the township received $348,512 from the federal government to administer the CDBG program. This year, I have not received a letter yet specifying the amount we will receive. It could be at or below the number that we had last year, to be determined.
When do you normally get the letter?
It could be May or June. I know that they did approve the budget, that much. It made it through the quagmire. So we're just waiting for the letter. Maybe May or June we should have it.
Okay,
Okay? Thank you. That's all I have.
thank you. We're on now to item number 12, approval of the minutes. I present the following minutes to the Township Council for their approval. Regular work session, February 24th. Budget hearing, March 9th. Work session and executive session, March 10th. And budget hearing, March 17th. Do we have a motion on the minutes?
So moved.
Seconded.
Any discussion, any corrections? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Barrison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Oni Chaka?
Yes.
Councilman Singh?
Yes.
Councilwoman Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Time to pay the bills. Approval of the warrants in the amount of $20,486,356.32 on March 24th, 2026 are presented to the Township Council for payment. Do we have a motion on the warrants?
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Anyone like to pull an item? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Barrison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Oni Chaka?
Yes.
Councilman Singh? Councilwoman Udine? Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
There are no ordinances on second reading. We have one ordinance on first reading. Ordinance 4501-26, an ordinance releasing, extinguishing, and vacating the rights of the public to a portion of the street known as Executive Drive in the Township of Franklin, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey. The foregoing ordinance is presenting to the Township Council for adoption on first reading, posting and publication in accordance with law, and public hearing and final adoption at a meeting of the Township Council to be held on Tuesday, April 14th, 2026 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers. Do I have a motion to introduce?
So moved.
Second.
Moved in seconded. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Barrison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Oni Chaka?
Yes.
Councilman Singh?
Yes.
Councilwoman Udine? Councilman Vasanella?
We're on to the consent agenda. Item number 17, items A through Z is listed in the consent agenda. Portion of this meeting are presented to the Township Council for adoption. Do we have a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Anyone like to pull an item or point out an item? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Barrison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Oni Chaka?
Yes.
Councilman Singh?
Yes.
Councilwoman Udine? Councilman Vasanella?
Every time I looked at the agenda, this consent agenda grew this time. It just got longer and longer. Item number 18. No resolutions to be voted on separately. Item number 19. Does anyone have any nominations for boards, committees, commissions? Yes, someone does for the...
Who's going to?
Mayor, yes. We have a couple of...
Human Relations, too.
Okay, go ahead.
You want to go?
Yeah, let me see. I think I don't have it. I don't have it. Just 1 minute.
So I nominate on behalf of Councilman Charles, Saira Ijaz for the Human Resources Relations Commission, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
for the full term, 3 years.
Okay. Any other nominations for that position? Any other nominations for any other position?
I'd like to nominate Kiki Anastaskos for the open position of the Environmental Commission.
Kiki.
Kiki. I didn't say her last name right. And
That's why I never say her last name.
Okay,
I just say
Kiki. Okay.
The artist formerly known as Kiki. Any other nominations for that position? Any other nominations for any other position? So we can do it by acclamation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. Congratulations, Kiki and...
Kiki and
I got it, okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Say that. Yes.
Adjust, yes.
Okay.
Adjust.
So I'd now like to, Resolution 26-151, authorize executive session. Williams Transco litigation update is presented to the Township Council for adoption. Do I have a motion to move it to executive session?
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Oh, Madam Clerk?
Councilman Barrison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Onijaka?
Yes.
Councilman Singh?
Yes.
Councilwoman Udine? Yes. Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
So we're now going to go into executive session. We will discuss the item that was named. When we come out of executive session, all we will do is close executive session and close the meeting. No other business will be performed. This concludes the meeting. Be well, Franklin.